Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I decided to make another video. By the time you're seeing this, November has started. October is gone. Halloween has passed. I hope you guys know that I never know what I'm gonna say until the words leave my mouth, and then it's too late because I don't edit my videos very much. It's November, which means I'm here to talk about all of the poor financial decisions that I made during the month of October and show you all the books I accumulated. Although this month I would say I didn't do too bad because a lot of the books that I got were given to me for free for various reasons, but then I did also spend a lot of money, so who am I making excuses for? Today's video is sponsored by Rive. Rive is a company that is all about creating products that empower women to achieve the quality of life that they deserve. Their products include journals, calendars, mindfulness coloring books, tarot cards, affirmation cards, little things for your desk. I personally have recently started my tarot journey. I'll talk a little bit about that more in another video. So I'm always looking for new sets of tarot cards with beautiful art, and you can definitely find them at Rive. Check out the link in the description to see a full catalog of their products. They're really cool. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much, Rive, for sponsoring this video. If my math is correct, we're going to be talking about 23 books in this video, which is low for me. I thought since it was October that this was going to be like a spook heavy horror book haul video, but it's actually pretty balanced, I'd say. So we're going to start, as we always do, with book of the month. Sometimes I totally skip book of the month because I'm not a huge fan of their book selections a lot of the time because they focus more on like literary fiction and romance and stuff. But this month's choices were easy peasy. One of the biggest releases of October was Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. Everybody bought this book, and then I heard nothing about it afterwards. I'm just realizing now, everyone bought this book. Everyone posted their pretty pictures of the cover, and then no one talked about it. A coworker of mine said it's reminiscent of The Last Tale of the Flower Bride, which I really didn't like, but that this has more concrete, speculative stuff going on. The book that I was actually the most excited for was The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. I don't know what it is about this cover, but I am obsessed with it. My PlayStation just turned off. I am utterly in love with this cover. I think the color scheme and the design are beautiful. The font is beautiful. I really wish it didn't have that Book of the Month square in the corner, but that's what you get when you get cheap books. I also picked up Sign Here by Claudia Lux. This is an older book. It's been on the Book of the Month roster for a while, but it's something I wanted, and it seemed like a good spooky season choice. I didn't read it, but I got it. I did purchase a solid 6 horror books this month. Whoa. First, we have A Haunting in the Arctic by C.J. Cook. I just forgot her name while I was talking. C.J. Cook's stuff is always strange because she's always shelved as general fiction and not horror. But I read The Ghostwoods by her, which I talked about in my cottagecore video, and like, it's horror for sure. But booksellers are like, no, it's not. It's just kind of creepy. So I picked up A Haunting in the Arctic because I really like C.J. Cook, I really like horror, and I really like ships. Oh, I love ships. This has a dual timeline, and it's listed as like a feminist gothic, which I'm excited to see how that happens on a boat. But it sounds like a great combination of a lot of things that I really like. Next, we have Edenville by Sam Rebeline. This is a debut horror about a horror author, and it's one of those returning to your hometown and something's not quite right stories. I've seen a lot of people posting about this, probably because there was a social media tour going on for this book, so I saw a lot of posts about it, but people seem to like it, and I'm excited because I really like this cover, I really like creepy towns and haunted houses, and people are saying good things. I picked up Let Him In by William Friend almost entirely because of the terrifying cover. Ooh, this is a good cover. Look at that. It's a face, but it's also people and trees. Why am I acting like I've just never seen a picture before? This book has twin daughters who hear a shadowy man whispering to them in their bedroom after their mom died. It's a classic, it sounds like. I haven't actually heard anything about this book, but it looks cool. I like the cover. I've been waiting for The Hollow Kind by Andy Davidson to come out in paperback. I like the hardcover, but it's not as cool as this one that's got a bear screaming on the front. This one is a decrepit, abandoned farmhouse slash ranch. My heart is so full this October. Nat Cassidy has a new book. Nat Cassidy wrote Mary, An Awakening of Terror recently, and now she's got Nestlings. This one has been compared to Rosemary's Baby. A couple, after the traumatic birth of their child, wins an apartment in Central Park, and they move into it and then start experiencing disturbing things, including bites on the baby. But they're like, man, we were really lucky getting this apartment, so maybe we should just stay. And that's one of my favorite types of tropes. I've talked about it before. Though we know this house is haunted, but we're just chilling. The last horror, although you can argue that some of the other ones I'm going to talk about are still horror, is by Anthony Ryan, although he's writing under AJ Ryan. I think that's because this is his first sci-fi and horror. Anthony Ryan wrote the Covenant of Steel trilogy that I love. He also wrote the Draconis Memoriam, I can't talk. But now we've got a creepy sci-fi called Red River 7. 7 strangers, 1 mission, infinite horror. This is also taking place on a ship. Okay? A bunch of strangers don't remember anything. They all wake up on this boat. Each of them has a gun and they're screaming from the mists beyond the ship. Okay, that was the horror. I was also lucky enough, lucky enough, I was also lucky enough to receive 4 self-published books this month. These are all review copies from acquaintances, friends of mine, and I appreciate them so much for sending me these books. I'd love to talk about them to you guys. So first, I received one as a physical copy and the rest as ebooks. We shall start with physical. Bennett Barkley sent me The Huntsman's War, part 1 of the Foundations anthology. I am a big fan of this cover and this color scheme, and look how short this is. I love short books. Y'all know. This essentially sounds like a paladin who has retired from paladin stuff is called back into war by his holy master when he is needed most. This sounds like an action-packed short fantasy that's part of a larger world. I'm really excited to dive into it. I'll definitely keep you guys updated on my reading journey of The Huntsman's War. Next we have A Prophecy Unsung, which is book 2 of The Voice of No Quarter by Adam R. Bishop. I have the first book, A Sea of Cinders, as a physical copy, but I have the second one now as an ebook. To talk a little bit about the first book here, it is set in a world where elves and humans are at war. A long war has been fought, but now there is a time of recovery. It is the age of tranquility. But by the start of the book, the elven race is starting to crumble a bit again, and the story just goes from there. This is another action-packed story about war and politics and power and revenge. Very good first book. I'm excited to get into the second book, A Prophecy Unsung. Then we have The Kinslayer by S.K. Putt. This is a Norse Viking inspired fantasy set in a world that is very reminiscent to Norse gods, Norse religion. This is a story of prophecy, of magical weapons, of snake gods and wolf gods bound by chains named Fenrir and Jorma. Not Fenrir and Jormungandr, those are different. This book is awesome and bloody and full of battles and champions and Vikings. If you like John Gwynne, Shadow of the Gods, Hunger of the Gods, you're gonna like Kinslayer. The fourth book I received is by Nick Travaglini. It is Men Among Gods, The God Hunter. I might have flipped that. I'll put a picture of it here. It is the first book in a trilogy and is a dark epic fantasy. This book is packed with world building that reminds me a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. I'm gonna link all 4 of these books in the description below. They're not all out yet, but I'll put the links anyway so you can check them out, and if you want to order them or pre-order them, please do. While we're in the realm of ebooks, I'm going to talk about an ARC that I received. I received Tomorrow's Children by Daniel Polanski, courtesy of Angry Robot Books and Daniel Polanski. Thank you so much for sending this to me. This is a post-apocalyptic Western set in New York. I'm excited about that very much. I'm actually reading a Daniel Polanski book right now. I'm reading The Builders, which is also a Western sort of, but it is hilarious and so weird. So I'm excited to get into Tomorrow's Children. I'm also receiving a physical copy in January, and then the book itself I believe is released early February. I should just check and then I won't be making this up. Let's find out. Tomorrow's Children comes out February 27th, 2024. You can pre-order it now though. I'll link it down below too. All the links today. But this does lead me into my next category, which is super duper anticipated fantasy books that have now come out and are in my house. One of the best books I've read this year so far was Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid. Ava Reid just released another book, A Study in Drowning. This is her first YA, but honestly, it reads pretty adult anyways. It's just they made it YA for some reason. While this one may seem like a dark academia, big old haunted manor situation, and it is. Ava Reid has talked a lot about the representation of mental health issues in this book. Ava Reid herself struggles a lot, has overcome a lot, and she feeds a lot of that into the main character of Effie. My coworker Keandra read this book and she said it was phenomenal, probably Ava Reid's best work, so I'm really excited to get into it and find out for myself more about it. I also love this cover. It's such a problem though when I have a really shiny cover because the ring light just takes it over. Remember when Rachel Gillig released One Dark Window? 2 Twisted Crowns came out this month. I haven't read either of them, but I think they're pretty, so I got them. That's my entire commentary on these. I know people like them. A sequel that I was actually excited for this month is the sequel to The Art of Prophecy, The Art of Destiny by Wesley Chu. One of the reasons I'm particularly excited about this series is because the cover art is done by Nguyen Tran, who is probably my second favorite cover artist of all time. First favorite being Richard Anderson, of course. Gosh, these are stunning. And they're thick, chonky boys. I haven't read them. I feel like every time I talk about a new book, I'm like, wow, these are great. I haven't read them. I was recently accused of just lying about reading books and that I've never read a book in my life, and I am in fact illiterate. You don't know. Okay, you guys know I bought the #1 most anticipated book that came out in October, right? What is it? Can you guess? If you didn't guess correctly, it's Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. I have the Indigo exclusive gold edition with this stupid sticker on it that I'm gonna have to take off with lighter fluid. And this edition comes with prints, that's the word, of the main characters. I'm so good at showing things. They're upside down, but I don't care. I have never actually read Cassandra Clare. I know she wrote the Clockwork Angel series, I think, and City of Bones. But hey, it's an adult debut of hers, so maybe it's amazing. If you've read this, comment below and let me know if I should read it, please. And that brings us to the final category, which is more fantasy books that you're probably not actually excited about or familiar with, but I'm going to talk about them anyway. This book was not released in October, but I remembered it in October, and it's The City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This one went totally under the radar. Adrian Tchaikovsky is huge. He literally just won a Hugo for Best Series for his Children of Time series. Like, that just happened. But why is no one talking about this? First of all, and stunning cover. I think he got just stuck in science fiction, and when he releases a fantasy or like a contemporary book, they just don't get talked about. But I found this at an independent bookstore and I bought it immediately because, oh my gosh. A book that I really like is The Winter Road by Adrian Selby. I picked up the second one, Brother Red. Cover art by Jamie Jones, although it kind of looks like Richard Anderson. Shanghai Immortal by A.Y. Chow is apparently hilarious, which is not what I expected the review to be, but apparently it's so funny. Half vampire, half fox spirit, all trouble. This is adult fantasy with Chinese mythology in Jazz Age Shanghai. Fantastic. The re-release of City of Bones by Martha Wells came out this month. City of Bones is not a new book. It's not the one Martha Wells is most known for, though. She's most known for the Murderbot Diaries. However, as that has gained popularity, they're re-releasing her backlist. So Tor.com put out a new copy of City of Bones, and I picked it up. The last book, the 23rd book, perhaps? I wasn't counting as usual, is another debut. Tonight I Burn by Catherine J. Adams. This is a witchy book. A witchy book for Halloween. Wow, we ended so poetically. I'm not sure if I'm actually excited about this book or was more just interested in buying all of the witch books in the world, is more likely. But the main character is a thorn witch, forced by the warden of Hazlitt to patrol the veil between the realms of life and death. It sounds like a romance, possibly. I don't know, I'm not sure about this one, but I liked the cover and I liked the idea and I like witches, so I bought it. And that is it. That is all. Spooky season may be over, but I will continue to read spooky books for the rest of my life, and fantasy and sci-fi and all of that. Thank you again to all of the independent authors who sent me their books this month. I'm so excited to check them all out. Please keep reaching out to me and offering me free books, or just telling me about your books and letting me talk about them, because I love to just spread them around. Buy them. Thank you also to Rive for sponsoring this video. Again, check out the link in the description to see a catalog of all of their products. Let me know if you buy anything. I want to check it out and see what you got. Like this video if you think I'm gonna buy more books in November than I did in October. Also like it if you think the opposite. Just like the video. Before I go, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell icon so you know when I upload new videos. I upload 2 days a week. I love you guys. Goodbye.